Welcome you all for the Connect 2008 event. I am Noor Salam Khan from the organizing committee of Connect 2008, and I have one prominent personality with me, Mr. Sumantran V, Executive Chairman, Vice Chairman, Hinduja Automobile Limited. We also have Rupesh from the organizing committee, and we are going to talk about the recent post which you have done on the website of connect2008.in. Mr. Sumantran, like being a part of the Indica car project from Tata Motors, like it was a great initiative, India's car. It was known to be a India's car. So, and also we are seeing this Tata Nano car which is going to roll out very soon, the cheapest car in the world. So, how do you find like this idea should be clicked at that point of time? Is it from that point of time, or the Indica one was a fresh one and this is started after it?
No, I think both the Indica and Nano have been phenomenally high visible projects. Indica because of ultimately the market success it has achieved, and Nano for the idea that it is, and the hope that we believe it carries in terms of the potential. The Indica had already been launched by the time I got to Tata Motors, but in the launch there had been a number of issues which the company had worked very hard to solve, and indeed with the launch of the V2 and the subsequent success of the product, I think it was a lot to do with the really the capabilities that the engineers at Tata Motors were able to demonstrate. Of course, down the road the ideas also led to the idea that we could make an extremely low cost car, triggered by Mr. Ratan Tata's challenge to do a 1 lakh car, and that was also very exciting project to be a part of. Of course, I left while that was underway, but I still have a lot of hopes for what that project can be.
Yeah, what do you have to say about like the present controversy that is going on with respect to the manufacturing plant setup and all, like with respect to the West Bengal and the present thing going on, and do you think there was some decision making issue like to set up in some other part of the country or something like that?
No, first of all, I never comment on another company's specific policy or activities, or for that matter information I was privy to when I was an executive of that company. I never talk about that in public. I think you know, clearly development has to happen in the country no matter where it is, and I hope that we will be able to pursue this course of development, keep the GDP growth to be what it is, generate jobs, and do it while making sure that we achieve harmony in the growth of the country.
Okay. And as we know that you hold MS and PhD degrees in aerospace engineering. So what driven you to come from a aerospace background to the automobile one?
Well, even though I studied and trained in aerospace engineering, my hobby was motor racing and cars.
Okay,
so
great.
I always had this love for cars. I also have the love for planes. So I ended up working for automotive aerodynamics with General Motors. So it mixed what I learned in aerodynamics from aerospace and what I love to do with cars.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts regarding like Nano is 1 lakh car, so can we have a low cost aircraft as well? Yeah.
Actually, there is a tremendous amount of innovation and revolution going on in aircraft design, both in the low cost business jets and in terms of ultralight aircraft. Ultralight aircraft are showing some tremendous design innovations. So yes, there's a lot of innovation around the world.
Innovation, yeah, exactly. And I guess you must be aware of blogging.
Yes.
Yeah. So do you blog?
Not very much.
Not very much. Okay, why not?
Well, actually, I just have enough time to catch up with my emails and
SMS. But I think nowadays, like the present scenario says that after SMS and emails, blogs are the third best way to communicate with the people.
Right.
So, what do you do for communicating with the people virtually using besides emailing and SMS? What
Frankly, not much more.
Okay, not much more. Fine.
And I probably have to take up blogging.
Take up blogging, fine. Because we are also performing the live blogging and we have the provision here. Okay. As an entrepreneur, okay, what is your biggest mistake till date?
You know, I think
And what lessons you have learned from it?
Well, I really never look back. I think at every stage you make decisions based on the information you have, and at every stage that's the right decision. And you can't make, you can't go back and think about what you did. I'm sure I've made a lot of mistakes, and in fact, you learn. Learning comes from making mistakes. So I'm not that I've not made mistakes, but along the way you make decisions and you move on.
As you have worked with like international companies and the Indian companies like GM, Fiat, and along with the Indian companies also, what I'd like to know that where India is lagging. Like, do you think like it should more invest in the R&D sector, or how come it's different in both the countries? Like both the countries, companies I'm talking about.
Let's face it. High technology manufacturing, whether it's automobiles, aircraft, is all relatively new in India. We have an aerospace sector, state-owned, that have got a number of specific successes, but by and large the population of successes is very small because we've really not focused on it historically in India. Now that this is happening, I think we're beginning to see a lot of specific development. We have a lot of catch-up to do. We have a lot of raw engineering skills. We have a lot of raw talent. We have a lot of engineers who can do CAD design and CAE and all that. But obviously, we don't have enough old engineers with grey beards. I call them the grey beards, who can say that in 1948 we did this program and in 1955 we did this program. All of this is experience. We don't have that experience because we've not had such a long history of product development. If you ask me 30 years from now, I'm sure we'll have enough grey beards and we will be able to talk about having closed the gap in those areas. Today the gap is domain competence. We don't have enough people with very specific domain competence, and I think that will only comes with time. We will grow those. So
are you talking about specifically about automotive?
No, automotive,
aerospace.
Most of these industries, they have demand for skills that you acquire on the job over 20, 30 years. If you look at a chassis engineer at Porsche, or if you look at a body engineer at Toyota, they've been doing it for 30 years. They know exactly what's coming. We haven't had that track record, and it will come. You can't learn it from a textbook. It has to come from experience.
Experience, right, so, exactly.
Can we expect like 20 years down the line we can have a market leader in aircraft manufacturing in India also?
Why not? Why not? I think it's doable. I mean, today we already have very, very good satellite launch vehicles, very cost-effective satellite launch vehicles. I don't think it's beyond us.
Yeah. And what are your thoughts regarding the hybrid vehicles which are coming in the market, and how do you see the future of them?
Hybrid vehicles are very interesting. I think mainly because India has a lot of stop-and-go traffic. Traffic is a lot of traffic lights and interruptions. These are all environments where low speed and a lot of braking is required. So hybrids are very good in these environments because they allow you to regenerate some of the energy, and in any case speeds are not very high. So I'm sure they will gain popularity. Initially the disadvantage is cost. These systems are expensive, but as costs start to come down, I think they will gain popularity.
Mr. Sumantran, a concluding question, like how do you see virtualization of manufacturing, and up to what level, up to what extent it is justified and useful for the automotive and as well as the aerospace industry?
Well, it's a phenomenally important area. It's very true both for aerospace, very much true for aerospace and also for automotive. Anytime you have a lot of hardware assets in the manufacturing system that have to be used for prove out, testing, validation, you're consuming a lot of money and investment before you get the final product. At the end of the day, nobody wants your prototypes. They only want the final product that you're producing.
Exactly.
So the more you can so-called vaporize and say it will all be virtual, and I will do everything in design on the computer and finally give you the final product, it's great. Now, of course, even the Boeing 777 was supposed to be a highly computerized vehicle, a computer engineered and developed vehicle. But even it had many hardware stages. Now with the 787, with the new 8350, you will reduce considerably the amount of time taken because you've removed a lot of the hardware and you made it virtual. Same thing is happening in the auto industry. I think today, more and more, even complex phenomena, whether it's crashing a car into a wall, in terms of predicting how it will behave on a wet road when it's driven very fast. All of this can be simulated. So we're able to, in the virtual environment, examine, assess, test ideas very, very effectively, and hopefully lead to a better product at lower cost.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Mr. Sumantran, for joining us. Thanks a lot.
Very much.